Hey everyone, let's talk about something we've all experienced but maybe never put into words. You know that feeling when your boss says, "Can I see you for a minute?" and your stomach drops. Or when someone gets promoted and suddenly they start acting different. That's what we're diving into today. Power and possession at work. It sounds heavy, but stick with me because I promise you'll recognize yourself or someone you know in these stories. Think about this. You've probably had a boss who treated you like you belonged to them. Not in a creepy way, but in a "you're my employee" kind of way. Where they got weird about you talking to other departments, or they acted personally offended when you applied for a different position. That's what we're unpacking today. Why does power make people act possessive? And more importantly, what does it do to the rest of us? 1. My people problem. Here's something that happens all the time. A manager says "my team" instead of "the team." Seems harmless, right? But listen to how it sounds in different contexts. "My team hit all our targets this quarter." Okay, not too bad. But then, "I can't let you go to that conference. My team needs you here." Or, "I don't think you're ready for that promotion. My team requires someone with your skills." Notice how "my" starts sounding less like pride and more like ownership. It's subtle, but your brain picks up on it. You start feeling less like a professional and more like a possession. I once worked with someone whose boss literally said, "I trained you, so you owe me at least 2 more years." 2 years, like she'd signed a contract in blood. That's not mentorship. That's possession dressed up in professional language. And here's the wild part. Most managers doing this don't even realize it. They genuinely think they're being good leaders. They've invested time in you, they've taught you things, and now they feel entitled to your loyalty. In their mind, it's fair. But to you, it feels like a cage. 2. When power changes people. You know what's fascinating? Studies show that when people get power, their brains literally start working differently. People in power become more focused on what they want and less focused on what others need. They start taking more risks. They become more confident, more decisive. Which can be great. We want leaders who can make tough calls. But here's the downside. They also become worse at reading the room, worse at understanding how their employees actually feel. It's like power creates a bubble around them. Remember that manager who always said, "My door is always open." But somehow you never felt comfortable actually walking through that door. That's the power gap at work. In your head, you're thinking, if I tell him this project is failing, will he blame me? If I disagree with her in the meeting, will that hurt my performance review? If I admit I'm overwhelmed, will they think I can't handle the job? Meanwhile, your boss is thinking, why doesn't my team speak up more? I've told them 100 times I want their honest input. It's not that either person is lying. It's that power makes it really hard to see things from the other person's perspective. Your boss forgets what it's like to worry about being fired. You can't imagine what it's like to have that kind of authority. 3. The control trap. Here's something that sounds backward but is totally true. The more you try to control people, the less control you actually have. Think about the micromanager who needs to approve every email, every decision, every tiny detail. What happens? People stop thinking for themselves. They wait for instructions. They don't bring up problems until it's too late because they know the boss will just take over anyway. I had a friend who worked for someone like this. Every morning she'd get a list of tasks. She couldn't start anything without approval. She couldn't prioritize on her own, and her boss would complain that she lacked initiative. Of course she lacked initiative. Initiative had been systematically trained out of her. This is what psychologists call the control paradox. The tighter you grip, the less engaged people become. They start doing exactly what you say and nothing more. No creativity, no problem solving, just compliance. And here's the really sad part. This creates a vicious cycle. The boss sees people not taking initiative, so they control even more, which makes people even less likely to speak up or try new things. Round and round it goes. The managers who actually get the best results, they're the ones who give people room to breathe, who trust their teams, who say, "Here, what we need to achieve," and then step back and let people figure out how to get there. For the career blocker. Now let's talk about something really painful, the boss who blocks your growth. Maybe you've experienced this. You tell your manager you're interested in a role in another department. Instead of supporting you, they get cold. They stop giving you good projects. Or they say things like, "I really need you here right now," or "I don't think you're quite ready yet." What's really happening? They're afraid of losing you. Your success makes them look good. Your work makes their job easier. And if you leave, they'll have to train someone new, which is a hassle. So they block you, sometimes openly, sometimes subtly. They don't nominate you for leadership programs. They forget to mention your name when opportunities come up. They damn you with faint praise. "Oh, they're good, but I'm not sure they're senior director material yet." This is possession at its worst, because it's holding you back from growing just so someone else can feel secure. The irony, the best managers do the opposite. They actively help their people move on to bigger things. And you know what happens? Everyone wants to work for them. They never have trouble finding talented people because word gets around that they actually care about your career, not just their own convenience. But the possessive managers, they end up with teams full of people who are either checked out or desperately trying to escape. Nobody's doing their best work when they feel trapped. 5. Why power is so addictive. Here, something we don't talk about enough. Power feels good, really good. When you have power, people listen when you talk. Your ideas get taken seriously. You can make things happen just by deciding they should happen. People laugh at your jokes even when they're not that funny. You walk into a room and people pay attention. That's intoxicating. And over time, it becomes part of how you see yourself. You're not just a person who happens to have a certain job. You are the job. The power becomes your identity. That's why some people absolutely lose it when they get demoted or fired. It's not just about the money or the status. It's like losing a part of themselves. They built their whole sense of self around being in charge. And that's dangerous, because once you tie your identity to your power, you'll do anything to keep it. You'll make bad decisions. You'll refuse to admit mistakes. You'll push away anyone who threatens your position, even if they're right. I've seen senior people stay in roles way too long because they couldn't imagine life without that title. They weren't even good at the job anymore, but they clung to it because without it, who were they? The healthiest leaders are the ones who remember that power is temporary. It's on loan from the organization. It can be taken away. And when it is, you need to know who you are without it. What can we do about it? So what do we do with all this? Whether you have power or you're dealing with someone who does, here are some real, practical things to remember. If you're in a leadership position, check yourself. Ask, am I making decisions for the team's benefit or for mine? Am I threatened when people grow? Do I say I want honest feedback but punish people when they give it? Would I want to work for me? One simple thing that helps: stop saying my team all the time. Try the team I work with or our team. It's a small language shift, but it changes how you think about your relationship to those people. And if you're on the receiving end of possessive leadership, know this: you don't owe anyone your entire career. Yes, be grateful for mentorship and opportunities. But gratitude doesn't mean staying in a job that's not right for you. It doesn't mean letting someone else control your path forward. Set boundaries. Document your achievements. Build relationships outside your immediate team. Make yourself visible to others in the organization. And when it's time to move on without guilt. The healthiest workplaces are the ones where power isn't about control. It's about creating space for people to do great work, where leaders see themselves as temporary stewards of other people's careers, not owners of them. Because at the end of the day, we're all just people trying to do meaningful work and get home to our lives. Nobody belongs to anybody else. And the moment we remember that, we create better workplaces for everyone. Thanks for listening.